Hello everybody, my name is Drake.
And I'm Grant.
And together we are JOJOLands. We have good news, and we have bad news. The good news is, there's a new chapter of JOJOLands, and we here are here to discuss it. The bad news is, Grant, next month is a break month, Grant. What do we do?
We predicted this. We are always 2 steps ahead.
Like Hoochie, and also that other guy. But anyways,
we recorded fill-in videos for October at this point a month and a half ago, so we knew.
We have a special surprise for you guys for next month in place of a chapter review. We're not going to reveal it though. You'll just have to wait and see. Also, I don't think we've ever actually had the time to mention it yet, but we released our Part 1 retrospective finally. It's on the channel. If you want to go and watch it, go and watch it, because you know how long it took for that to come out, and I think it was worth it in the end. It's like almost 3 hours. You could watch all of Part 1 basically at the same time. But anyways, what do you guys think of the chapter? Do you think it was good? I thought it was great. But speaking of great chapters, Chapter 19, Glory Days Part 1. I thought we were going to be ending this arc soon, but it looks like we're...
Nope, we're in it for the long haul.
Okay, here we go. Anyways, a little surprise here. Akka Howler backstory, and just general Howler backstory. I want to...
Italy mentioned.
I was about to say, I want to bring up the very important fact that the guy with the gyro beard cut is Italian. So, start making your crackpot theories now, because...
Well, I have a crackpot theory. It doesn't have to do with gyro, but I have a crackpot theory. Okay, I guess I could just go into it now. We're not like other YouTubers that wait until the end to give the theories. Okay. So, it's a family thing, basically handed down, all of these like land rights, right?
Yep.
So, Howler family gives it years and years and years and years later, right? Yep. So, we know that eventually Jojo is going to make a lot of money, and most likely it's going to be because he becomes in charge of these land rights, right?
Okay.
His dad is now a mysterious person. We don't know where he is on a family tree. What if his dad is part of the Howler family? And
that makes sense.
And then when Akka Howler, and maybe he dies or something, then they discover and they're like, actually, the land rights now go passed on to you, because you're like I guess or Dragona too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Either of them. And then it's like, because you're the next of kin of it, or whatever.
Exactly. Okay. He moves to their family. Ooh, that's smart. That's smart. I remember.
Maybe that's not as crackpot, because I'm trying to fit it together, and I'm like, we don't really know.
No, it works a bit. It's not the biggest stretch in the world that we've made in these discussions.
Yeah.
I had already mentioned before how I randomly had the thought that Akka himself could be Jojo's dad. I remember when he was first revealed. I was like, that's a possibility. We've had the long-standing theory that Jojo's dad was in charge of whatever evil group we were going to go up against. So. Things are connecting. Things could be happening. The path to Jojo's wealth could be
his dad. Yeah. Especially because Jojo obviously took his mom's last name, so
exactly. We
wouldn't know.
We have to know. I'm into your scheme. I'm into it. I will say, though, it would be really, really weird for neither Jojo or Dragona not to mention the fact that, like, Howler is
they would have to
significant figure.
They would have to explain in the middle how somehow their dad, like, unless their dad was, like, also somehow didn't know for a while, and then that's why he left them.
I don't know. Maybe...
See, that's
look,
where
man,
it kind
don't read into it too much or it falls apart, but if you don't look into it, it's good, and it's very solid, and you should trust us. But anyways, that's some fun. I think Akka could be the main villain. I think it's still possible.
I am on team not the main villain. I don't believe it.
I'm gonna fight against that. No, we're getting a ton of information about him, and he's been the most significant antagonistic presence so far that I think there's a solid chance of him being it still. Anyways.
That's fair.
Regardless, we can theorize all we want, but the information we know is that this man got rich from generational wealth. There we go. How does the lava rock integrate into that? I don't know, man. But anyways. Back to the fight. Paco's kind of out of commission, probably for the rest of this encounter. He's stuck in the elevator. And we get some really good tense moments with Jojo slowly walking past Bobby Jean and Lulu. And I think it's great. I think it's a great part. The part where you just see a glimpse of Bobby Jean's gun as he's like looking at his phone or whatever. That's fun. Araki's sense of timing in this chapter really shines.
Usagi is really suffering, man.
Yeah. There's been, what, 6 chapters?
You just have the smooth operators going into his brain through his nose.
Yeah, this is still even more like Lovers. Like, every chapter that goes by, I keep on being reminded of the Lovers fight and everything. And I think okay, the smooth operators are currently, like, in his, like, blood vessels or whatever. And they weren't that small before, so I think this is genuinely, like, I think we have Stan shrinking back again. I think this is definitively, like, the smooth operators got smaller to go inside.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this, again, since Lovers. This is a concept that people often would say, like, oh, Rocky forgot about it, but it's back! It's back!
I think it's mostly just years. There hasn't been, like, uses for it, so...
Yeah, exactly.
30 years, actually.
Yeah, and actually, later on, we'll see it's even more like Lovers, because we're going to see that Bags Groove is going to multiply and whatever, but either way...
Yeah, until someone brings up one very obscure, like, time a Stan shrunk, and we're just like, alright, okay. But I think this is the last... or the first we've seen since then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Usagi. Man, Usagi is so messed up right now. Like he's still saying the acronyms or whatever, so he's still at least cognizant. But like for this team not having a solid healer, this is pretty devastating. Like Dragona's smooth operators kind of has that weird niche healing, but it has. I don't think it's anything compared to like a Crazy Diamond or a Gold Experience. So. I assume Araki's gonna play it off like normal, like Stardust Crusaders, where like, oh, they're better by the next chapter or whatever. But it would be nice to see some long-term injuries in this series. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Polnareff, once he lost his fingers in the cream fight or whatever, every other appearance he got shown, he kept not having those fingers. That was always fun. Oh, and then we get. Okay, so we don't really get a chance to see what happens because he gets interrupted by Glory Days. But Jojo notices that Lulu has a nosebleed. Do you think Jojo was about to throw hands with a child? Do you think that was like what do you think was about?
I think he was like a second away there. Yeah.
Jojo's scary, man. Definitely. We've had a couple ruthless protagonists before. Like with Giorno and Johnny and whatever. Even Joe's. We've been on kind of a mean streak actually with the new universe. I guess it's Araki's style now, but still, I think Jojo might just be like the most antagonistic protagonist we've had so far.
Yeah, I love the like stylization of him saying November Rain here.
Yeah, that little, it's always nice. I assume that's how it looks in the original Japanese too. I assume it's written out specifically like that.
Yeah,
it's very cool. And you see the bullets going towards Jojo when he like deflects it with the rain. That's very impressive. I didn't realize that his raindrops were that powerful as to be able to stop bullets. But
yeah, clearly because all the raindrops are spinning.
Yes. You know. We know they're all spinning by now. We could get honestly, if it doesn't spin, I think I'd be upset. I think if that never happened, I'd be like, "What? That was so obvious." But this is a November Rain has we've seen hints of its like power or whatever, and we haven't really gotten specifics on what it does. But this is one of the more impressive feats, I think. Deflecting a bullet with just a raindrop is pretty damn impressive. And also just kind of hard counters Bobby Jean, so
yep.
Kind of sucks.
And then all those other people get murked.
Yeah, civilian casualties is something that very rarely happens. Like this, it kind of took me off guard. Like he just starts blasting away at them, man. It's scary, man. Like sometimes like in the case of like Green Day, I remember like there were a ton of civilian casualties or whatever, but that's like an area of effect thing. This is like he's just shooting them.
Yeah, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like as personal as this is.
Exactly. Yeah, it does.
I mean, because it's a virus versus a bullet.
Yeah, this it feels pretty. Also, we see the reactions from everyone else in the hospital, like panicking and running away and everything. And we usually don't focus on that on the background characters that much. Like stands kind of live in their own like world, and people just kind of ignore it because usually you can't see them or whatever. But this is just a guy with a gun. Like,
yeah.
Jesus, Rocky, the freaking social commentary much? You put your part back in America and you
on the same week as this new Chainsaw Man chapter too.
Exactly. Yeah. Jeez, man.
What did they mean by this?
What did they mean by this? I mean, nah, but and then they talk a bit about what their predictions are for what Jojo and the team are doing, and this doesn't really matter because we already know what they're doing, so this is just for the sake of the characters. But Lulu points out in this that guy, he seems sort of commanderish, quote this translation, and I'd even said last chapter I had always interpreted Paco as like the leader or whatever, but hey, if she says that Jojo's acting like the leader here, I'll take it. I'll let her have her own opinion. She's wrong though. Paco is the homie and don't disrespect him, okay?
I've noticed a lot of the pages this chapters are like double page spreads and stuff, not like full spreads, but just like it goes across 2 pages.
No, I know what you're
saying.
Not full,
I've been noticing that a lot in JOJOLands actually. He's been liking to do that a little more than he used to.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening in like JOJOLands or Steel Ball Run. It happened like usually those start to kick up in the later sections of parts, but for the beginning, he's really putting a lot more effort into it. He's feeling real invigorated. I'm happy for him. Good to see that as he ages, he's only getting better. Can't wait to see 150-year-old Rocky.
The art is always really good, but this chapter does have a few funky panels. There was one of Bobby Jean walking down a hallway, I believe, from his back, and it does look very weird.
Yeah, I think specifically Bobby Jean can look slightly like misproportioned, but it's not enough to distract me from the overall pacing or anything important about the storytelling, so I don't quite care. But like the fact that that's like the only significant thing that could come to mind from this chapter or even any of the other chapters is very impressive. And then we get to the part where it's confirmed that Bag's Groove is very Lovers-esque with the cool panel of they're all in shadows with the eyes glowing, and then you see there's a ton of the Bag's Grooves. That's very fun.
Yeah, really cool.
Also, how did the Lovers get defeated? It was like Hierophant Green like moved a bunch of tentacles out to get all of them. I think that's the stand fights in part 3 don't always end the most like memorably, except for like maybe a cool stand rush here and there. But
well, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Hierophant Green and was Silver Chariot part of it, or was it just?
I don't remember. Again, it's kind of a lot of the abilities in part 3 were kind of generic and kind of just like blend with each other. Like, oh, he defeats Lovers because he grabbed all of them. It's like, okay, I mean that's fine, I guess, but now I really want to see how he tackles the same kind of stand with a better grasp on how to write more unique abilities. So I think this next chapter that we're gonna get is gonna be more. Okay, I just thought about this. Of course, they're gonna change the chapter titles in the actual major release or whatever, but it feels like the last few chapters that were named Bag's Groove had more to do with Glory Days, and it feels like this chapter has a lot to do with Bag's Groove, and I feel like. But the names are reversed. The other chapters were named That Girl's Bag's Groove, and this one is named Glory Days. What is he thinking? They'll get changed anyway, so don't I should not.
Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter to me. That's what he said. That's what he said in the song.
That's what he said.
From the reference from JoJo. See, I'm going delusional. I need to move on.
From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the story of the Joestar family.
The Joestar family, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here on page 27, you get to see Dummy Thick.
Dummy Thick, but it's not like it's not right. It's like wide. It's not only thick wide.
It more looks like he has tumors coming out of him.
It looks like his ass is like the Laura Croft like triangle boobs, but
yes. Or like there's a massive pole in his pants, exactly, like horizontal. Yeah.
No, but as much as I make fun of that, I do think that this scene is one of my more favorite parts of the chapter. Yeah. Actually. I like the part where he's like,
Bobby G was just happy to see him in this scene.
Yeah. Actually Jojo did the morally right thing and he went into the boys' bathroom. Good for him. Except Bobby Jean predicted that in an insanely good part where the bullets come out of his back. That's awesome. That's great. I also think this gives a little bit more insight into what the ability does. I think I could kind of my solid prediction on what Glory Days does is that he can like fixate bullets in place and they're like invisible. They're like they're imaginary bullets basically. They're just like he shoots them silently and they aren't visible probably. And then when he wants, he can reactivate them, kind of like Craftwork in part 5, how he could put the bolts in place and then shoot them out. He sticks them in place and he shoots them out, but they don't go at the same speed. They go slower, which I guess is the penalty for being able to place bullets anywhere, is that they can't go as fast. Because I think he fired normal bullets at the people in the hospital earlier, right? Those weren't like slow bullets. At least it didn't look like it.
I couldn't tell.
That's hard to tell. I really, Araki, please, for the love of God, give me a stand page. Please! I need to understand what's happening here.
So yeah, we get him attacking here, and then Jojo's got a heart attack.
Yeah.
A sheer heart attack, you could say. A
sheer heart attack. He's been affected by Bag's Groove. It seems like everyone's not having a good day today. But yeah, next month's gonna be a break month, and that's gonna really, really suck. But I'm glad we kind of called it. We've been calling for ages.
I think October is just the new break month. It was last year, and we had been going here obviously for 11 months straight. We're like any month now, but it's gonna be October. Also because the JoJo magazine's coming out in December, which is another news thing to say.
I forgot to mention the JoJo.
So he might even be doing a Rohan for that. We don't know. And if he does, then that's still 12 chapters in a year. It's not a big deal at all.
I just realized this now, just looking over the whole chapter. But the November rains, like rain barrier. It's probably just because it's rain, but it reminds me very, very much of Love Train, like visually, how it looks with the whole the veil,
it does. It totally looks like the wall. Yeah,
it's super similar, and with having to do with everything in the corpse parts and everything, I'm just thinking,
us tying in Jojo to be related to Valentine, Johnny, and Gyro.
What if... okay, so Giorno was related to the villain of the first part of that universe.
Oh my god.
What if Jojo is related to the villain of the first part of this universe? We solved it.
That kind of goes hard, though. That actually kind of goes really hard.
That could absolutely happen. That's actually not...
How would that realistically happen?
Well, no, Valentine could have kids on the side. Man, he was
I feel like the thing with Giorno is that he's literally like Dio's son. He's Jonathan's son, but he's Dio's son, like directly there. And so it's like, oh my god, he's President Valentine's great grandson. Okay, like I don't know. That doesn't.
What I'm about to say will not happen. But however,
go crazy.
I don't know what window there is, but if somehow. I realize while I'm saying this, I'm going crazy. But alternate Diego got infused with the powers of D4C when he got taken over.
Alright, guys, that was
Okay, that you already you got the idea. Okay, that's it. That's the extent of it. That's the extent of the. I'm sorry. Maybe instead of Valentine, maybe it's something like Lucy Steele, because Lucy Steele got affected by, was part of Love Train or whatever, with Ticket to Ride and everything. So maybe it's a.
We don't know what Lucy and Joseph got up to.
Exactly, man. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's Joseph. Joseph's known for pulling a couple weird
alternate universe Joseph, instead of him being the older one.
Oh my god, we solved it.
He's the younger one.
We solved it. We solved it 2 times in the same video. I can't believe it. Araki, we read right through you. Okay?
That means Lucy is alternate universe Josuke's mom.
Me reading the final chapter of JOJOLands after he never reveals his father, because sometimes he just doesn't do that. And, like, imagine us reading part 3, like when it came out, and we're like, Jotaro's father, he kind of kept as a mystery this whole time. I wonder if it's Dio. I wonder. No, but what are you guys' crazy theories? What are you guys' insane JoJo theories? Leave them down in the comments below, because I don't think you can beat us. I think we're the kings. I think we're the kings of JoJo theories.
We are.
But thank you everybody for watching. It's been great to have you guys listening. Be prepared for next month, because we're gonna have a couple videos actually.
2 videos.
For that break. We're gonna have 2 videos. That's right, 2 videos in a month, and never heard of in JoJo Overdrive history. Unheard of completely. Just insane.
Insane.
Leave a like, and then you know what you do? You subscribe. Well, anyways.
And then you hit the notification bell.
And then
you follow our Twitter. And then I think I
forgot to mention the Twitter at the beginning of the video, which means no one's gonna follow it.
Something about YouTube having like a hype feature now or whatever for smaller YouTube channels. You're gonna hit that too.
You're gonna hit that, but is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, apparently it's like a new thing they're trying to do for smaller channels, where people can kind of like upvote videos and then they'll be recommended more. But it's only for channels under 500,000 subs.
What? That's crazy. If that button exists and he's not just gaslighting me, hit that too. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is JoJo Overdrive, signing off. Shake it up your feet, hold the drive. Coming through now. Coming through now. Coming through. Watch where you're going, hold the drive. Let the downside up to top notch, whatever haters do.